No more Giannis Antetokounmpos. I want more more Blake Griffins and more Anthony Edwards and Kobe Bryant. That's what I want. I don't care. Trump's right. I support Trump. I support Trump. His immigrants are taking our jobs.
Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
On a Saturday! Welcome to the All Even Podcast. My name is Barry Grant Jr. I am the host of the All Even Podcast. You can catch the show on Instagram and Twitter at All Even Podcast. You can listen to the show on Podbeam as well as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I'm all over the place. There's no Google Podcasts. They have, what is it, YouTube Music or some crap like that. I'm not doing that. Not doing that. But you can go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Just hit that bell, man. When I go live or there's a video that pops up, you'll get it right away. Page is growing. Mr. 10K. I'm in the building. Jimmy the super intern. How you doing, sir?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. I think last week we weren't here.
Yeah.
And the week, or maybe, I don't know, I don't know.
Last week was rough for me because it was my mom's birthday. It's the third birthday without my mom. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything today. And then the next day came about and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything today either. Then the next day passed. I'm just like, yeah, I really don't feel like doing anything today. So it's like, I'm not burnt out, but I'm more like I just needed a break because still processing the loss of my best friend, right? But, I went over there and planted a nice rose tree for her. She would have liked that. She would have probably said, Jay, I need white, not red. But I'm sure she appreciates it. But you, sir, you have a lot going for you, and I'm very proud of you, and you need to continue. The theme of this show today is bet on yourself. So that's what I'm going to do today, and that's what I'm going to tell my team to do for themselves. Cole on the ones and twos, the silent assassin. How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had yourself a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very crazy.
Yeah.
Good things that could be good or bad,
Right.
but we'll figure it out.
Depending how you view it. It can be glass half full type of situation where, a lot of times we look at situations and we're like, in the moment it's bad, but then when you kind of take a step back, it's not really that bad. You just need focus and be able to figure it out. So we almost didn't have a show tonight, though, because we are recording on a Friday night. We almost didn't have a show because I left my phone in the supermarket. All right. I'm not that old, but there's times though I do feel like I'm slipping, right? I'm in the supermarket. I'm getting stuff for this old ass cat, and shouts to Remix. She's 20. So I need to get extra things for her. And I'm in there and I'm getting things and I come home, speak to my lovely fiance about something, come down here with my team and looking for the phone. I'm just like, I know I had it with me. Is it upstairs? I checked the drawers. It's not there. And I'm just like, it's a fucking supermarket. So I go back to the supermarket. Obviously, it's closed, right? So here I am, black man knocking on supermarket door. This white manager comes to and he sees me and he's like, what do you want? And I'm just like, my phone is in there. So he has this apprehensive look on his face because could be a ruse, right? God, you're not going to trick me. Not going to hustle. I'm the ultimate hustler. Not going to hustle me. Comes to the door and he says, can I help you? I say, I think I left my phone in there, man. So he's looking at me like, So you know how when you don't want somebody to come into your home
Mm.
and like maybe there's a like Jehovah's Witness at your door or somebody and you like barely crack the door or you speak through the door and you can see them through like a little,
Just like a little crack in there.
yeah. That's how he was that's how he was speaking to me. I didn't even feel offended because I was like, I probably wouldn't answer the door neither. I wouldn't open the shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
10:30, 11 o'clock. Yeah.
Right, you probably thought I was a crackhead or something. I don't know. You know? I don't have a haircut, so maybe he did feels like this guy doesn't look too right. He looks crazy. So tell him he goes to go look for the phone. And I remember that there was this nice lady that works in the checkout section. I think he asked her something. She said, yeah, there's a phone in there. Lo and behold, the phone has been recovered. So, very happy. Lots to get into today. Lots of news. More basketball than anything. Free agency is upon us. Lakers, Bronny, Kevin Durant rumors are flying around, and I'm not shocked because what do I call him? Flight risk. He'll go somewhere. Jimmy Butler, there's some news out of Miami that he may be on the move, not this year, but next season. And the Knicks are my favorites to come out of the East. Not the Boston Celtics that just won a championship, it's the Knicks. And I'll tell you why. More conversations about LeBron, this opt-out day. And my day has finally fucking come. My day is here. Day of redemption. I've been talking about this man since I've started my podcast. Even years. I've been talking about this man since I was 9 years old. Something not right about certain things. And boy, did it come to light. And I am going to do a victory lap today. NFL, there's some lawsuit that they got to pay billions of dollars because they out here trying to scam people. My irrelevant news of the week. And the greatest segment on the planet, W of the week.
Dummy, yeah.
Before I get into all that, though, I am not shy about saying that I am a Biden supporter. I have been since day one. I think he's one of the most influential and successful presidents of our lifetime in regards to things that he's passed. Stock market has never been higher. You have unemployment at record lows. You know, there's been millions of jobs that have been created. Student loan forgiveness. There's been so many home runs and so many policies that this man has signed off on that people don't know about because they don't care to research it. But it's right there in front of you. If you want success, if you want to know what this man has done, it's right there in front of you. We live in a society now where people can be able to go to the Google machine and look up why their arm is itching, but they don't want to look up political facts. It's weird. You'll look up the recipe to make fucking slime, but the political facts, oh, don't care about that. We had a presidential debate last night, and I was looking forward to it until I watched it. I'm not going to lie to you. Biden down bad. He old. He old as fuck. He is. Hey, he was old as fuck before the debate. So, didn't go well. Trump's a liar. We know that. They fact-checked him in real time. Everything he said was a lie. Nobody cares, though, right? But there's one thing that I'm going to agree with Trump on. It's crazy. Now, I'm actually going to agree with this man. But I agree with him. Is that the immigrants, we do have an immigrant problem. And we do have to take responsibility and do something about it. Because he is right. Jobs are being taken. However, I don't think he really understands what immigrant job or what jobs the immigrants are taking. They're taking all the NBA jobs. That's what they're doing. There's too many international players in the NBA. There's no more American superstars anymore. Luka, you got Giannis, you got all these. They're the ones taking the jobs. So if you want to talk about immigrants ruining the sports, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing in the country. That's what I'm going to agree with Trump on. Immigrants, they all taking the jobs. The basketball jobs. That's what they're doing. Damn that. I'm that guy. I want the American players back. Give me Anthony Edwards. Give me Michael Jordan. Give me Kobe Bryant. I don't want guys that can't speak the language. I don't care. I said it. You hear Luka Doncic so speak, Giannis, Wemby speaks well. He does. But even still, they can take him back. I want LeBron's. Steph Curry's. This is what I like. In the next 10 years, there's going to be nothing but European players in the league? What is this, baseball? What are we doing? I don't understand. You change your game to fit their style of play. When Americans go overseas to play, most of these teams have an American cap. So you can't have more than like 3 Americans on your team. Not in the NBA. Whole team, God. This is the reason why boxing sucks. There used to be American heavyweights. Tyson, Holyfield, Riddick Bowe. The list goes on. Had Klitschko and all. You don't know who the hell's the heavyweight champion no more? Nobody cares. No one cares. So yes, I agree with Trump. The immigrants are taking the jobs, but it's the NBA jobs that's taking. Nothing else. Because I would love to know what a black job and a Spanish job is. Don't know. If you know, let me know.
Did he explain what he thought?
Absolutely not. It's a thought and it just goes out of his head and he goes on to the next thing. So he always does. Man was asked, what is your climate change policy? I want clean air and clean water. But that's not even the kicker for me. It's the fact that Jake Tapper didn't even challenge the answer. He just said it and moved on.
We just didn't have a response to that.
It's just crazy.
What?
And Paul Weekend at Bernie sitting next to him, standing there, he couldn't respond. That's what I'm gonna call Biden from now on until the next debate and then he gets the stuff together. Bernie Lomax. That's what his name is. I love him, but he old as fuck.
The only thing like good with Trump is like the jokes, because like they are funny. Like
Yeah.
his little one-liners.
He's a funny guy, but he's a fucking felon and a liar. Like, how?
That is his main thing. He just gets like people to laugh.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then if they don't think about it, then it's like, I like this guy.
It's amazing how low we have set the bar for entertainment in this country. This guy can be robbing you blind. It's funny. I can have a beer with him. What does that matter? I don't want to have a beer with Biden. Just pass a law. That's all I give a damn about. I don't want to share your oatmeal. You old. I don't want to age shame. I'm not going to do that. Right? Well, he's old. But here's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm going to say before I move on. Is that Democrats are such fucking hypocrites, right? This man has been this age forever. If you thought that he was old before, where were the people to have a primary? Where were the people to be able to challenge his role for presidency? Where was that? There was none. He was the incumbent and he just rolled in. There was probably a couple, but where were the waves of people lining up to be the next president of the United States? I'd love to know. Because if you had any options, you should have used them. So for people to talk about, hey, well, he needs to step down. No, he doesn't. And he shouldn't. Because if he steps down now, you're literally just giving the presidency away. So if you want to do that, go ahead. But you'll never get another legit vote again because everybody will look at you like a bunch of pussies. That's what they are. They have no backbone. The Republicans will wheel out a dead body and tell you, that's our dead body. That's it. We got a ventriloquist back here and we're good. Okay? They'll talk about it internally, privately. Democrats, they're going to talk, they're going to argue amongst themselves and make it this bigger thing that it should be, when you should be unified, see it through, and then you make your adjustments after that. But to start to crack at the seams before you even get to the finish line, bunch of pussies. And this is why a lot of people jump ship. I won't be, but I can always criticize them and call them exactly what they are, and they're pussies. Moving on. Have you ever seen Derek Jeter's dating resume?
Yeah, I have. I don't remember who's really on it, but it's pretty big.
It is elite.
Yeah.
I remember he's always dating like a supermodel.
It is
like someone.
Hold on. I was scrolling on Instagram, like I normally do, just to find stories, and I was in shock of the women that this man pulled. Now, granted, Derek Jeter's not a bad-looking man, right? He was a bachelor for all these years, right? Finally got tied down, got kids married now, cool. But man, the stories that I used to hear about Derek Jeter, he used to always leave like a gift basket for the women. That's fire, right? He used to have, what do you call it? What's those agreements? NDAs?
Mm-hmm.
NDAs, gift basket. You know what I mean? That's fire. If I was a bachelor like that with money, I'd do the same thing. I would. I'd have my own, title on the end. make sure, okay, is this acceptable? Sign this. Don't say shit. Now let's think about it. Mariah Carey, Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, Vanessa Manillo, Jordana Brewster, Tyra Banks, Minka Kelly, Adriana Lima, and Scarlett Johansson. Come on.
When was Scarlett?
I
That's crazy.
don't know.
Wow.
You pull Scarlett. I wonder, why would you break up with Scarlett though?
There's like, out of all like those like all like beautiful women, like that was like the one that just like I was like, what?
Yeah, like the two that I'm like, man, he really let them get away. Jessica Biel, and Scarlett Johansson. I'll see any of those women. If I was saying, just hear me out. I got a yacht, weekend. What do you say? Well, I mean, when you Derek Jeter, this really doesn't come like nothing. You're just like, we had a thing.
Yeah.
It's like so random, but I know, remember Matt Kemp?
Yeah.
He was like with Rihanna and they broke up and it like broke my heart. I don't know why it affected me so much.
Right, Matt
but
Kemp.
he
But
was
yo,
with
Matt
Rihanna.
Kemp at that point was the man though.
Yeah.
And then when he started, hold on. Is there some evidence or some investigation that we could do? When Matt Kemp started to decline, did Rihanna get rid of him? Is that what happened? Is that what happened? You not the man no more, so she gotta get rid of you?
Let's see. But I was like, he's so handsome.
Oh, you were a Matt Kemp fan?
Yeah. And like Rihanna was like, oh, Rihanna, perfect duo.
Yeah, I mean, when you people like Rihanna and Derek Jeter and Chris Brown, I mean, you got your pick of the litter. You really do.
I think they're only together for a year,
Okay.
09 to 2010, so he was still popping.
Yeah, he's still popping.
Yeah.
That's like a high school relationship, though. That's what happens in high school. You meet somebody, just like have a fling for like a couple months, and on to the next. On to the next.
Even A-Rod has a pretty big list.
Yo,
Yeah.
A-Rod got a body count on him too. I ain't gonna hold you. Listen, there's a reason why I call that man Teflon Don. He was the man. Him and Derek Jeter, boy, respect, but we just talking about Jeter right now. But man, I was looking at this list. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have to give you this graphic so you can you pull it up on the screen. You know what I mean?
I think I saw it was like the one it was like the position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He had Mariah Carey, Jessica Alba, and Jessica Biel in the outfield. Vanessa Manillo at third, Scarlett at shortstop, Adriana Lima at second, Jordana Brewster at first, Hannah Davis the pitcher, of course. Okay, Mickey Kelly catcher, and Tyra Banks on the on deck circle. Yo, legend. So shouts to Derek Jeter. I ain't gonna hold you. Shouts to Derek Jeter, man, because that's the type of list. If you're an athlete and you're a single man, that's the type of list you should have. You should have nothing but bodies. Not gonna lie to you. Like, it shouldn't be, oh, well, I met this girl at the checkout aisle and, 30 years later. No. You an athlete? Explore. See what's out there. You know what I mean? Then when you retire, just like Jeter did, you settle down. That's the way you do it. You out of the limelight, now I can settle down. But once I'm in this limelight, I'm getting these yams, and I'm getting much of them. I'm getting enough. That's it. After the break, we have to talk NBA because NFL doesn't really matter right now. We can push that story to the back. It's NBA time, and man, do I have a lot to say after the break.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Whoa, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, my nigga the joint. What's up?
All Even?
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. What's up, man? All Even. Yo, oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now that's a shout out. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even? That's your man?
My man.
All right, shout out to All Even podcast. You cool?
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G? Oh. I shout him out, G.
He cool, man.
Welcome back, y'all. So NBA draft has been one of the staples in our sport watching lives. We love the NBA draft. We love the NFL draft. Baseball draft, not so much, right? It's one of those, they need to find ways to make that a little bit more appealing, right? But the NFL and the NBA draft it's ingrained in our culture. This year's draft, there wasn't a lot of big stars, but there was a lot of good role players. Lakers got themselves a really, really good player, Dalton Connect, really good guy out of Tennessee. Got him in the first round. But is that the story? No, it's not the story. It's one of the stories. What's the biggest story? Before I get to that story, there's another story that I'd like to talk about. I watched the kids that were in the green room, these guys that are getting drafted, right? Looking at them, and I'm just like, what happened to the basketball players? None of these kids look like basketball players anymore. They look like little kids. Like, when I was growing up, they had guys that had like comb overs and their hair was balding or receding. They're like 19, 20 years old. These kids look like children now. They don't look like hoopers anymore. They all look like they go to band camp. You know what I'm saying? And listen to hip hop in their basement. That's what they look like. They don't look like hoopers no more. Like, guys don't look like basketball players anymore. Basketball players used to have a look. That dude hoops. That dude hoops. Regardless of your height, it's just something about you that you know that this dude. Not all of these guys look like e-gamers. That's what they look like. Wasn't impressed.
Whenever I think of a basketball player, I just think of like a guy that's like 8 foot tall with a massive suit.
Yeah.
Just like thinking about like
They
the
were-
whole
the,
day
the,
there.
the guy that got picked, the first pick, he's tall as hell. But guess what? Foreign guy. Of course. You know how many foreign players got picked in this draft? It's ridiculous. Where are the American players? Where are they?
Where do they keep getting these like tall Eastern European dudes?
Because they got all the scouts out there, just like baseball, right? Baseball just abandoned all the American players. They got all the scouts in Japan now. They got all the scouts in all the Spanish countries. That's fine. That's the talent's out there, but there's talent here too. That's all I'm saying. Mix it up. Whole draft was nothing but international players. Why don't you just have an international draft?
Good. I was also seeing like, I forget, like there was like now 3 players with like basically the same exact name.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was Nikolai, Jokic, Tovic, Jokic.
It was all from like Serbia.
Yeah, all of them. All 3 of them.
Crazy.
I can't do it anymore. I can't listen. I want my basketball back. I do. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all these international players, man. I don't care how it sounds. It's not being racist. It's just about I want American players. This is the NBA. This is not FIBA.
Mhm.
If I want to see international players, I'll go watch the Olympics.
Mhm.
You can have them, but they shouldn't be dominating your sport. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Same thing with baseball. I say the same thing about baseball.
Yeah, what's this? All we have, I guess, is football.
Yeah,
It's American.
that's it. And don't just wait. That probably will change. Because you guys didn't see the damn the I think it was Japan that there was Olympic football. Japan beat the hell out of U.S. team. Didn't even know they played football.
I was gonna say I didn't think that existed.
It's crazy.
Wait until they start repurposing guys like Jokic into football players, and he's just like some 7-foot beast.
It's just-
And then
You'll
they'll
see
start-
it. You'll start to see
yeah.
7 foot. Yeah, we're gonna go find this guy from Serbia. Never played football before. We're gonna train him. That'll be it. That'll be it. Just I'm sick of it. But going back to the draft, international players. But that's not the story, right? That's not the story that nobody wants to talk about. No. Everybody wants to talk about LeBron James. Everybody wants to talk about Rich Paul. Everybody wants to talk about Bronny James. I've seen such a spectrum of reactions and emotions. I've seen people like Bill Plaschke, who works for the LA Times, who writes, is a beat writer in LA, says that this is gonna be the worst thing that they can be able to do is distracting to the Lakers. I see people saying that this is so bad for the league. I see people saying that, oh, I can't wait for LeBron James to just be out of the league because he just does it whatever he wants. I see people that say, well, this kid is not talented enough to be in the NBA, and it's not fair that he's taking up another opportunity from somebody. Here's what I'm going to say. Nepotism, and this form of nepotism, has always been an NBA thing. You have head coaches right now in the league. Their fathers were head coaches in the NBA. So how the fuck did they get there? Executives that pass on teams to their children when the children are not qualified to run the fucking team. It's all around you. Problem is, what they don't like is the fact that LeBron is doing it. Remember, I sat here and told you that I don't like Giannis and his brother's form of nepotism, right? Where he is forcing his brother onto these sneaker companies. He should earn it, right? It's the way I look at things. LeBron James might have opened the door for his son to play basketball in the NBA. But newsflash, there were several teams that were interested in drafting this kid outside of the Lakers. His agent kind of swayed or dissuaded teams to draft him. Guess what else is not a shock? That. You know how many players get selected in the second round or don't get selected in the second round because their agents are trying to dictate where they go? Austin Reeves, who's a Laker player right now, white player, his agent told teams not to draft him because he was more open to picking a place that was more suited for him rather than being drafted somewhere you didn't want to go. And maybe you couldn't develop the way you could. It happens all the time. But because it's LeBron James, it's a big fucking deal. See where I'm getting at? Is that just because it's him, just because people hate LeBron James, they're going to put all of this bullshit on this kid. Anybody who has a problem with Bronny, you need to check yourself. He's a 19-year-old kid. I had people, you've heard the conversations. He averaged 4 points in college. He doesn't deserve to be in the league. But here's what I'm going to ask. When was the last fucking time you heard somebody mention that this kid had a heart attack? I'll wait. I would love to know anybody out there, and I'm going to look into the camera. Love to know anybody out there, if you love jogging and you end up getting a fucking heart attack jogging, how long it would take you to go back jogging.
I feel like a lot of people won't even go back.
They probably won't. Right? Out of the fear. But we don't hear that about Bronny. We don't hear about how much of a physical toll that could have probably taken on you, and it took him a while to get his legs back. They only see well, he only averaged 4. You're a fucking idiot. And I'm somebody who I will hear conversations. I'm not gonna argue with you. It's your point. I can say on my platform that you're a fucking idiot, though. Because if you judge a 19-year-old kid, who are you? You think if Michael Jordan played until he was in his 40s and his sons had a chance to play, that he wouldn't try to get them where he was at? What are we talking about here? I'm a parent. You guys are going to be parents someday. Whoever's out there that is a parent, that aspires to be parents someday, you will do everything in your power to make sure that you give your kid a fighting chance to succeed. No matter what avenue it is. What makes this so different? He may give him the opportunity, but it's up to Bronny to be able to seize that opportunity. Just because you get invited doesn't mean you get to stay. You have to earn it. And for a kid that had a heart attack, for a kid that's the son of a billionaire, newsflash, he doesn't have to do this. Nobody wants to talk about that. He really doesn't have to play basketball. He's choosing to play basketball because he loves it. And he wants to see how far he can be able to succeed. I don't see a problem with that.
No, even it's not gonna be easy for him. Even,
No.
with his struggles and then just the name.
It's bad, and that's why LeBron James nicknamed him Bronny.
Mm-hmm.
His real name is LeBron James Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand the type of pressure that is
Mm-hmm.
to live up to? People are already, I've had friends hit me up and say, well, there's a lot of expectation. No, you set the expectation because of who his father is.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just let the kid be who he is? He can be really good, or he might flush out. Who knows? Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he's worth. Because I know that this kid getting a heart attack and came back to play, he has a lot of guts. And for a kid that can be able to go through that at 18 years old and still have the guts and the fortitude and the heart to keep going and not listen to the noise, shame on anybody that thinks that this is a problem. He was the 55th pick in the second round, or in the round, or just in the draft period. 5 picks away from not being drafted, and we're talking about it. When was the last 55th pick you ever fucking talked about in basketball? That's the problem. Is that people are so set on seeing LeBron James lose and fail that they will pass that on to his child. That's sick. Grow the fuck up. Because that 19-year-old kid shows a lot more maturity than a lot of these people. Moving on. KD, there's rumors that Kevin Durant is not happy in Phoenix. What gave it away? Seriously, what gave it away to make you know that this miserable dude who's never been happy anywhere he's gone would be happy here? If you're not happy winning back-to-back championships in Golden State, where are you going to be happy? 2-time finals MVP, back-to-back. And you're not happy there because you were the guy where they like Steph more than I do, when they like me. Of course they do. Nobody wants to talk to you. Everybody loves Steph. It's nice. Besides his wife. Everybody loves Steph. He's a miserable fuck. Kevin Durant is just that guy he's going to be looked at as one of the most gifted players that ever played a game. But when it comes to being a waffler and somebody that you can't rely on to be somewhere more than X amount of time, it's a concern for your legacy. It really is. People want to talk about LeBron. Well, he's always moving around. LeBron's won a championship in every particular place he's been at. This year is going to mark, well, I mean, it's already. He's been in Cleveland the longest. If he comes back to the Lakers, it's the longest stretch that he's had in his career. He was only in Miami for 4 years. This is going to be year number 6 in LA. So when you talk about somebody who's always running around, where? Show me. I can show you all the teams that Kevin Durant's been on. He keeps going. Why? Because he's a kept wife, like I always call him, right? That's what he is. Never satisfied. So where's he going to go? We heard that Houston is interested. Maybe Golden State. There might be a reunion there. But it's just like, at some point, you got to chill. At some point, age is going to catch up to you where you're not this hot commodity that you are. Pick a place and settle there. Maybe it's time for you to go home. Maybe go to Washington. Go back to Washington. That's where you grew up at. Go there. Or go to New York where you should have went to instead of going to Brooklyn. Should have went to the Knicks. Just saying. Moving on. Chris Paul's deadline for his contract has been pushed back till June 30th. When is June 30th? Is that Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday. Till Sunday. So he has a $30 million option that Golden State is thinking about either trading him or it's a non-guaranteed, so they can literally just waive him and not have to worry about paying that $30 million. So all of that's good, right? All of that's fine and dandy. The problem that I'm having is that I don't want him nowhere near my fucking team. Nowhere near the Lakers. Go to San Antonio. Go with Wembayama. Go with him. Go to the Knicks. Go anywhere else. Go to the Clippers. Go back there. Go back there. Don't come to the Lakers. It's bad enough that we have to get this stink out that Darvin Ham left. And JJ Redick has to clean it up now. Right? I don't need Chris Paul coming there and jinxing LeBron, jinxing JJ, jinxing Bronny, jinxing AD. I don't need it. Keep his ass away from the Lakers. I don't want no black cat Paul around me. He's a good player. He's a Hall of Fame point guard. Great. He should have been a Laker 15 years ago, whatever the hell it was. It's over. Kobe Bryant's not here anymore. There's no Pau Gasol. There's no Andrew Bynum. We don't want you here. No. I've talked to Laker fans. They're like, God, please, don't let this happen. Don't let it happen. We don't need his State Farm guy, right? Is he the State Farm guy? It's not State Farm. What is it? What is the damn insurance thing that he does? We don't want that guy. Keep Cliff Paul away from us. We don't want him. Jimmy Butler. As a Laker fan, I like Jimmy Butler. I think he will be a great asset to my team. If we can get him, we can't, because we don't have the money. But Jimmy Butler's been a very good Miami Heat player over the duration of his tenure there. He's been in 2 NBA Finals. They haven't won, but he's been a consummate professional there. I don't know what the situation is, but according to the reports, he will be a free agent after this season coming up. He's not going to get an extension, so he'll be hitting the open market. And there's been some issues that he's been having, I guess, with management in regards to, misunderstanding between him and Pat Riley. But, it's one of those things where it's like, why? Why does he have to go through this with Miami? Like, I understand Miami has their way, but when you got a star like Jimmy Butler, who's very opinionated and he's just his own character, I think he's done enough in Miami to warrant a big-time extension and possibly retire as a Miami Heat. Maybe the Heat have different plans and maybe they want to rebuild and retool. I think a lot of teams are going that direction, so I understand that part, but I just feel that an extension should be something that is agreed upon and he can be able to stay there. But if he does leave, what are the options for him after this season? Where can he go? I think Philadelphia, going back to Philly's an option. If they don't have any, if they don't make any moves prior to that, I think New York is a good option for him. I think a team like Oklahoma City would work. Memphis would work. I think there's a lot of teams that are like on the cusp of being very good, that can be able to utilize his services. But it's just really interesting to see that Miami would be willing to walk away from a Jimmy Butler. So, interesting. That's why I'm not a Miami Heat fan. You got rid of LeBron. Once LeBron is upset with you, I don't care. I don't care. The Knicks made a big trade. They got Mikal Bridges for what was it, like 4 or 5 first-round picks. Very good move from the Brooklyn Nets, and he's a guy that I've spoken to several people who are Nets fans. They weren't happy with his production there because he didn't play great defense. He wasn't as consistent a scorer as they would like, but he's not a number one, right? So if you're not a number one guy and you're put into a number one position, you're not going to be able to be consistent and satisfy the masses. That's not your type of play, right? That's not your type of game. He's not a number 2 either. So he's not a second banana. He's not a Paul George or a Kyrie Irving, or he's not any of those guys. He's a third banana. That's what he is. He's a guy that can be able to play defense, not have much plays ran for him, hit threes, do that. That's what his role is. So for the Knicks to be able to get a guy like that that's under contract for the next 2 years, the Knicks have a 2-year window. Then now you go ahead and add the fact that OG Anunoby just agreed to re-sign with the Knicks 5 years, $212 million. That now gives them 2 perimeter guys defensively. They can hit threes, Pepper create their own shot a little bit, but they have a very good team right now where I feel comfortable saying I think the Knicks are the favorites to come out of the East next year. Damn the Celtics. I'm writing it off. I don't care, right? I've never seen a team have this easy a cakewalk to the NBA Finals. I don't believe in them. Everybody was hurt. Every single team that they played was hurt. Bum ass Luka and those Dallas Mavericks, Luka was limping around. Look like Joe Biden. Look like Joe Biden out there walking. They don't care about them. The Knicks, they were banged up. Pacers, when they played them, banged up. Every single come on now. I'm not believing in no damn Boston. And then Porzingis, he got surgery. He's going to be out like 7 months. I ain't believing in them. They good. But I think the Knicks have the roster build and the guys that they have. They got Randall coming back. They have Mitchell Robinson still on the team. It's pretty good. So I'm saying, I'm not saying that they're going to win the championship. I'm just saying that they are favorites for me to come out of the East. After the break, I will discuss something that I've been wanting to discuss for a very, very long time. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting my whole life to say this and to be proven right after the break.
Yo, this is Cigar Gents and Gals. I want to give a shout out to my boy Barry for leaving podcast. Keep doing your thing, bro. Killing it.
Welcome back, y'all. Man, Christmas come early for me. I knew it. I knew it from day one that there was an agenda out to protect Michael Jordan and his interests. I knew it. Just couldn't put my finger on it. But now somebody has done it for me. I finally feel fucking vindicated. I'm telling you. It's great to know that one of the main things that people like to talk about with LeBron and Jordan, where Jordan has a Defensive Player of the Year award, LeBron doesn't have one. Oh. So is that the thing? Is that what it is? LeBron should have won that back in 2013. Yet they gave it to Marc Gasol, who wasn't even on the first team all defense. He won Defensive Player of the Year and was on second team all defense. How the fuck does that happen? We don't know. Never got an explanation. We've always heard about Michael Jordan, 1988, being the greatest defender in the league. Oh, no. Fraudulent. So, Tom Haverstraw wrote a nice article and said that Michael Cooper, who was the Defensive Player of the year prior, Michael Jordan had started the season and said in the media, and I quote, "Michael Cooper is great at ball denial, but check his other stats. This league gives defensive awards on reputation. It just tees me off." Those are words out of Michael Jeffrey Jordan's mouth. So, just think about what I'm setting up for you. My compadre, the silent assassin, starts the season. So the season hasn't really started yet. He's putting the season and whoever it is on notice. I'm not happy that I didn't win this award. Michael Cooper shouldn't have won it over me last season. So I'm telling you, I need to win it this year. Oh, how things work. So there's like I said, this article was very detailed by Tom Haverstraw. He said that this stats in the 80s were very, very inflated. The stats in regards to the home box scores or the stat books and the away stat books were like night and day. I think there was like an 800 point difference or something like that. Not in regards to the score, because you can't manipulate the score. But in regards to like turnovers, blocks, all of these things, it was just like a very, very uneven discrepancy. In the league right now, there is no uneven discrepancy. It's very, very accurate. Everything is hyper-analyzed, over-analyzed. You have, advanced metrics. Everything is just dissected to the letter, right? To the number, all of that stuff. So there's no real padding that can happen. Not in the 80s. So Michael Jordan, Tom Haverstraw, he was looking at it because he was trying to find certain statistics that made sense. So there's the steal block statistic, and they combine it, right? So how many steals and blocks you get per game, they combine it to say this is stock. And shouts to my man Bryson Carver, who did a really good job, kind of mapping this out on his show on Wednesday. But said that Michael Jordan's stats on the road were like probably maybe 3.1 combined steals and blocks. So he probably, total of what he's getting is like 3.5, 3.1, whatever it is. At home, those statistics jump over 50%. So it goes from stocks being 3.1 to over 6, which means that he's getting he was getting like 4 steals a game at home. 2 blocks at home. And Scottie Pippen released a book years ago saying that he would get a steal, pass it to Jordan. He and Jordan would get credited for the steal. How? I did all the work.
Is this like something that's only really happened with Jordan?
No.
Or
This happened in the 80s.
Okay.
But in this specific year where he won the Defensive Player of the Year, his numbers were so outrageous. They said that he had the greatest Defensive Player of the Year in regards to statistics ever. It's clear bullshit now.
Mm-hmm.
Because the man's stats jumped over 50% to the point where he had I think he had 40-something blocks on the road, and it ended up being like 90-something at home. Steals went from like 90-something at home on the road to over 100-something on the road, like 180, 190 on the road at home. Like, what are we? So, and then there was a guy that was keeping the books that they identified. Him and Jordan were very close. He worked for the Chicago Bulls, obviously. Him and Jordan used to go over the stat book every game.
It's like, yo, can you change this one for me?
Come
Change that
on.
for me?
right?
That's crazy, yeah.
Then the guy who wrote the article said that, all right, you can't find many games full length that you can be able to watch now from the 80s, right? He found 6 games from that season. You watched the game from start to finish. There was a game where he played the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks had 10 turnovers in that game. Jordan had 10 steals. So I'm going to break this down. A steal is a turnover, right? You have to steal the ball to go on the other end.
You got them all.
There's other ways to get turnovers in basketball. You can pass the ball to somebody and they can dribble it or lose control. You can dribble the ball off your foot. You can have a 5-second violation. You can have a charging call. There's so many different things that can happen that causes turnovers. Guess what happened in that game? He watched the game and saw that they had other turnovers outside of steals. So if there was some possessions where, there was an offensive foul, there was a errant pass, something like that, how does Jordan get 10 steals if they weren't credited for 10 turnovers off steals? It's ridiculous.
It's like crazy how it's just like, I know you said there's not much proof of the games being filmed back then, all of them. So
yeah,
but even like in like the time being, like I'm sure like the next day the stat book is available for people to see now.
I'm sure it is, but guess what? Like, the golden goose, you think they're gonna challenge him? No, they're not.
It's crazy.
And this is what I'm saying is that now I would love to hear from Jordan fans now what they're gonna say. When the evidence is literally right here. Come on, let's watch the games together. Let's look at the scoreboard or the stat book from that game and let's see if it actually plays out the way it is. I can guarantee you, if that game was so outrageous, could you imagine the other 40 games at home? What it was like? And then who knows if this wasn't a thing throughout the entire time he was playing.
I want to say, like, isn't it? Well, I mean, I guess it is cheating because you're falsifying information. But like, is this like potentially a big lawsuit?
No lawsuit is gonna happen. There's no asterisk that's gonna happen. But to know that it's bullshit,
it's crazy,
makes me over the fucking moon. Because when people get on their Jordan horse, I can always dangle this fucking bullshit carrot in front of you. Oh, well, your defensive player of the year was fraudulent, right? We can go over it if you like. But they'll always do plausible deniability. Well, I don't know if that's real, man. He set it up. That's what Jordan does. He cried about it. I didn't get defensive player of the year. So he has to throw shade at somebody else. And then you doctor stats? Pitiful. Disgusting. Disgusting.
Yeah, it's crazy to like, for him to walk around with it, be like, I'm the greatest player ever, and just like knowing deep down
that you're a fraud.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Chris, like I said, I'm excited. I have been proven correct. Great player. I'll never take that away from Jordan. Great. He's a fucking fraud, though. That's all it is. So, hey, Jordan fan out there, hey, let's pull the stats up. Let's watch a game, and then let's go ahead and keep stats of that game and see what happens. You don't have to worry about that with LeBron because he grew up in an age where everything was copacetic and you couldn't doctor stats. Like the great MJ. Let's protect MJ. He has a gambling problem. Let's let him go away for a while, for a couple of years, and figure it out. Told you. I'm very comfortable getting canceled this week. I'm just being honest. can't be considered the GREAT when you're stat padding. And they always talk about LeBron stat padding. They love to use that. Other players stat padding. But Jordan doesn't. You're being proven correct here. If Tim Haverstraw were to go ahead and go further into detail and find more games that Jordan played, I'm sure there'd be a lot more discrepancies. But we're just going to leave it there. Moving on to my, what do we have? Yes. To my irrelevant news of the week.
You got to be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch them? I mean, yeah, they stink.
Every week we go ahead and we see what's going on here in the latest nonsense news. And what do we have? Yeah. West Virginia couple allegedly kept their 5 black adopted children as slaves, locking them up in a barn. Now, look, you gotta look at keywords when you have certain headlines, right? I'm very big into keywords. That's how I kind of put things together. You know me as a whiz when it comes to this shit, right? What I took away from this was West Virginia. What I took away from this was West Virginia. You fucking country bumpkins. They down there with their Confederate flags. They be like, hey, well, it's never over. We're gonna continue the pride. We're gonna continue the legacy that our forefathers left us. The losers. That's what they did. They lost. Confederates lost. They did. They lost the war. I'm just saying. You want to keep these black children as slaves. I wish you would. I hope there's a Django in that group. I hope there is. I hope there's a one little black kid is gonna say, I'm gonna whoop y'all ass if you try to do anything to me. You know what I'm saying? That's probably how they got caught. How did they get caught? Let's go ahead and look. Says, the black children were slaves asleep in a barn. 63 said 2 pleaded not guilty to new charges after 2 teens were found in a shed wearing tattered clothing. They were first arrested in October, having a wellness check. Ages 6 to 16, living deplorable condition. It's just crazy that this is a thing that's happened in our society currently. And when people want to tell me that racism doesn't exist, it's not as bad as it used to be, okay, you can say that in your anecdotal experience, but what are these kids going to say? What type of experience can they be able to tell you when they hear things like that, or when you hear people say that it's not as bad as it used to be? What is their experience?
It's like they're living it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of naive to say that. So, but yeah, these two, I can't understand how. I mean, not granted, you know, we can all talk shit now, but just looking at these people, they would not be. They couldn't enslave me. First off, this woman looks like she can't run past anybody or run to get anybody. This dude looks like he has no hands. So I would love to know how at 16 you gonna think you gonna be able to do anything to me. I'll put hands on you. Straight up. Knock your stupid glasses off. Kick your wife on her face. And be like, nah, we're not doing this today. So, crazy story. That's wild.
Were all like the kids, like different, you said they're adopted, right?
Yeah.
Were they all like, biological? Did it say?
Nah, I don't, it didn't say. It didn't say. Let's see here. What else we got? We have... NCAA Division I removes cannabis from banned drug list. NCAA Division I Council voted to remove the use of cannabis products from the banned drug class for championships and postseason participation in football. Any penalties currently being served by student athletes who previously tested positive for cannabinoids will be discontinued. It's about time. Like, how can people still get penalized for smoking weed? Like, look, some people use it to cope with pain, headaches. It's good for concussions. There's a lot of positive things that cannabis can provide. So what are we still being old hecklers for? It's a gateway drug. No. It's not. Unless you want it to be. I used to smoke weed when I was a kid. I was a young adult. Smoked a lot of weed. And then guess what? I stopped. Because it's not an addicting substance. Unless you're mixing it with other things. Or you have that type of personality where you're just fucking bored. Now, for athletes, they may do it for recreation. They may do it to help speed up their healing process. Whatever it is. It's not a big deal for me. I just don't see that. This is not meth. This is not, anything like that. This is weed. Mm-hmm. Most of these dudes do edibles and all this other stuff. Like, come on now. It's about time that our sports, our societies, every state needs to just say, all right, enough. If y'all want to do it, let's tax it. You can sell it, whatever the hell you want to do. It's weed. Right?
You let people drink, which is a lot worse for you than
drink get crazy. Go crash cars. Go ahead and smoke this cigarette and give yourself but no, we got to put them in jail. Yeah. What are we doing?
Crazy.
It's dumb. Moving on. New Jersey man charged with attempted murder after flying to Florida to attack his online video game rival with a hammer. Yo, these incel geeks have taken it to a new level. It's bad enough you ain't getting no yams, but you are so mad that you lost in a game that you gonna take yourself and Where'd you hide the hammer? Did you take the hammer in your luggage, or did you buy it from Home Depot when you got there?
You even think of the premeditated, I'm gonna get on this flight.
Yo,
take a hammer and just go smack this dude in the head.
Could you imagine if he was if he lived in Cambodia? You gonna travel from Cambodia to New York just because you ain't like what the man did in the game? He pressed pause and messed up your what happened? Come on now. If you can't take shit talking and bad play from online gaming, you shouldn't be playing.
It is I know back in the day they said younger kids shouldn't really be playing any games with a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
Not fact, but potential it did lead to some school shootings and stuff because the kids would be on the game. So I don't know if it
It got no correlation. Let me tell you something. If you were a psychopath,
yeah, it's in your
before.
Blood. Yeah.
All it did was say, yeah, looks plausible. Listen, me and my friends, all we did was play games that people shot themselves. You shoot people and run the streets. We played Mortal Kombat where you just rip people's heads off. I never thought about killing anybody.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm not a crazy fucking psychopath. That's all it is. This dude, you should see the picture of this kid. He's never had sex in his life. I can tell you right now. Never. Let's go ahead and go see the story. What is this? Edward Kang. Okay, gives it away. Gives it away. Allegedly took an overnight flight from Newark to Jacksonville. The victim's stepfather reported being awakened by screams for help. Kang snuck into the victim's house in Fernandina Beach.
Fernando?
Fernandia? What?
I don't know.
Yeah, something Fernandina Beach. Dressed in black with a mask and gloves at 2 a.m.
How do you know where he lives?
Psycho.
Yeah. But like, why are you giving out strangers your location?
He said when we went to see what was going on, he found his stepson on the ground struggling with the attacker who had a hammer. The sheriff reported that Kang got angry at the victim while playing the multiplayer game Archage. Told his mom he was visiting a friend in Florida and left. The victim suffered severe but not life-threatening head wounds while Kang is being held in Nassau County Jail on attempted murder and burglary charges.
How old is he?
20.
Even like I'm almost 25. If I'd be like, "Hey mom, I'm just gonna visit a friend in Florida," you're not gonna like ask any questions at like 2 a.m. You showed up,
Right?
So you're leaving to get there on the plane. It takes a few hours. Like you're leaving already, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. I feel like maybe a little earlier, just to be like, "I'll be back." Just visiting a friend, and go to pull out a hammer on him. Like it's crazy.
These kids, man, they're mentally unstable.
Yeah.
There's so much mental instability nowadays that it's like a lot of people use it as a crutch. I think in this society, this dude just batshit crazy and he just has no life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it sounds like. Is you gonna let a game get to you? I didn't like the way he did. I'm going to kill him. Think about the ebbs and flows of emotion. You go from playing a video game to wanting to murder somebody from that video game. I wish that was me. And I see this incel in my room with a hammer. I'd call the cops and say, "Listen, I've beat this man senseless. He's in my basement. He has no toes, no tongue. But if you want him, you can have him." Are you crazy? Over a video game? If I'm his father, I'm laying hands on him. If I'm the victim's father, I'm laying hands. And if I'm his father, I'm laying hands on him.
It's just, I feel like with, I don't know, guy things, it's like video games just take way too much emotion.
But it was always, but yes, we as guys, we play games with our friends. Our friends make fun of us. You get into the game, but at no point
do you think of that?
Did you ever think about physically harming somebody because you lost a game?
Yeah. They gotta put more of the mental stuff in schools and just talk about it.
It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's crazy. It is crazy. Let's see. I think I got one more. One more before we get out of here. Where is it? Was it from this week? Let me see. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh, I did mention it though. Japan beat Team USA 41-20 in American football. Like, how did that happen? I had no idea that Japan had a football team. 41-20. What are we doing? I already went on my diatribe about making sure that our games are secure. And we get our ass whipped by Japanese. It's bad enough they good at everything else. They gotta take American football now too? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like I didn't even know that they knew what football was.
Right. And first off, who did they send over there to go play these Japanese players? Did you send bums? You ain't send no good players. I'm enough. Okay, enough with the international NBA draft. The baseball players. Nobody can speak. Everybody got interpreters. I'm done. I've had it. I've had it. It's enough already. No more Giannis and Antetokounmpos. I want more more Blake Griffins and more Anthony Edwards and Kobe Bryant. That's what I want. I don't care. Trump's right. I support Trump. I support Trump. His immigrants are taking our jobs. That is my irrelevant news.
You gotta be kidding me. I mean, how do you watch them? I mean, they stink.
Okay. After the break, we'll talk some NFL briefly because they had nothing else going on after the break. Welcome back, y'all. NFL has to pay back some big money. They lost an antitrust trial that could reach, what is it, $14 billion? Goodness gracious. A jury ordered the NFL on Thursday to pay more than $4.7 billion for antitrust violations surrounding its Sunday ticket package, which lets fans watch games outside of their home markets, but required them to buy access to a bundle of games to do so. It says because of this case nature as an antitrust matter, the verdict could be tripled if upheld, putting the NFL on the hook for $14 billion in damages. Wow. Let's see here. Let's see, there's more details. Roger Goodell has set an annual revenue target of $25 billion by 25 games. So the NFL was forcing customers who just want to watch one team or more of smaller teams to pay more. So they were literally like juicing up the prices to have this Sunday ticket. And this was something that's been reported from, I think, like 2015 and just kind of got settled now. That's crazy. Like, you're already making money hand over fist. The NFL makes so much money every season on fantasy football, merchandise, tickets, TV rights, all of these things, and you still have the nerve to want to upcharge people. You have the nerve to try to mark up everything. Like, this is the thing about the NFL that I just don't like, is that it always feels scummy to me in certain things of how they do it. But like, I understand that money is everything, but like, have some dignity in regards to what you're doing, especially like with the retired players. They have to fight for their retirement benefits, and like that should just be that shouldn't even be an argument. These guys laid their lives on the line, played in an era where they didn't even realize concussions were a bad thing because they weren't told that it was a bad thing. And you're still trying to fight them hand over fist to try to pay them and compensate and give them a quality of life that they deserve. So this right here, it lines up, is right on par with all the other scummy shit the NFL has done. Because people love the NFL, they're not going to question how much money they're actually going to have to pay for these packages until somebody says, this doesn't feel right, I'm going to complain. And then somebody else says, yeah, that person's probably right. And then now you have a case because more people are starting to complain about it. But because this league is such in high demand and everybody loves it, a lot of this gets swept under the rug for years. That's why we're here. So yeah, if it does get to a point where they have to pay $14 billion, that's going to severely cripple the NFL. That might not be a good thing, but at the end of the day, they put themselves there, right? So I don't give a fuck.
How much is it even worth?
The NFL?
Yeah.
They're up there in, because they said that Goodell is aiming for a $25 billion year, or
yeah, I thought they were
worth
by the 20s.
Yeah,
but still, like, that's a large amount.
That's like half.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's, if that ends up, I mean, this may be something that drags out for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This might not be something that gets settled right away. Mm-hmm. So this might be one of those long fights because the NFL has big time lawyers. They have a big engine. So we'll see what happens. But it's foul that they would even try to do that. They got caught, and they're gonna have to pay the price at some point. So we'll see how that goes. Moving on. Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy are reported to well, not even Jerry Jones. Is Mike McCarthy is reported to be fed up with Jerry Jones. I can see that being a thing. Because Jerry Jones has his nose in everything, and he's thinks that he's a player, thinks that he knows the X and O's about the game, and he's just a meddling owner. But guess what? We love Jerry Jones. We don't care. We don't care if he's a meddling old man. We don't give a shit. It's Jerry. I don't look at it any other way. Look, the man is, what is he, like 90 years old? If he wants to go and hobble himself down to the locker room and go speak to players and eat his salt, he likes to drop like a whole bunch of salt in his Egg McMuffin. Like, just let the man do what he wants. The Crypt Keeper is the Crypt Keeper. Let him do what he wants to do. That's all I'm saying. It's like a boss that gets on your nerves. What are you going to do? Quit? You got a choice. You can either quit or you can shut the hell up and you can just deal. I don't know. There's no big deal. Yes, it could be annoying because if you're a coach that wants to be very hands-on and make sure that your voice is being heard rather than somebody else and your voice gets muffled, I get it. But you shouldn't have signed up to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys then. Go coach somewhere else. Because in Dallas, Jerry Jones going to come down and say, how are we doing today? How we doing today, Mike? Is team all right? Is everything fine? Can I go speak to the boys? Can I go tell them how they got to play hard today and make sure that everything... Yes, sure, Jerry. Go ahead and do it. I'm sure he's just probably annoyed. Like, no, you can't fucking talk today. Just no. Stay where the fuck you at. I get it. Can't do that to Jerry, though. Jerry does what he wants. And if you don't want to deal with it, then there's the door. That's all I'm saying. Moving on to the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Every week I go around the room and I ask who is the Dummy of the Week. There's no Claw this week. Shouts to Claw. He's having a good time tonight and made the right choice. Jimmy the super intern had a poker thing to go to. Hopefully there's not anything else going on. Nothing nefarious. And the Silent Assassin is here with me. So you are up first. Who you got?
I've been seeing a lot on TikTok and Instagram.
Yes.
I think that's actually started around here, the trend.
What's that?
Of these pickle sandwiches. If you've
What?
seen them. I'm a big, I love pickles, but these things look disgusting. It's like a giant pickle as, the bread. I'm like, this can... The amount of, acidity in the pickle, and then you have, cheese and, whatever meat you like in your sandwich, condiments. It just doesn't sit right with me. And it looks gross,
What,
too.
so the pickle is the bread?
Yeah. So I scoop out, a big pickle.
Right.
And then just have it, in a sandwich. So.
Well, where do you get the big fucking pickle from?
You know, you ever go to an amusement park? They have the pickle in the bag, or a deli pickle. Really?
Never.
So they have big cucumber pickles.
Really?
Yeah, it is a cucumber, but
Yes.
a big, yeah. So it did start around here. I believe I don't want to give anything out,
Right.
but I'll tell you after. But it started a trend around here, so I'm like, these things look disgusting. People are like, oh, this is delicious. I'm like, you're just getting pickle juice in your American cheese. Is that
that's kind of ugh.
It doesn't mix up. If you have a pickle on a cheeseburger, it's a little bit. It's
Right.
fine, but all the vinegar and stuff.
Right.
I'm like, that can't.
It changes the taste of the actual sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, yeah.
It's like if you had a pickle. Yeah, I agree with you. If you have too much pickle juice in your sandwich, and the bread is not a bread that can handle that, and then now you got all pickle juice in your fucking bread. I don't want that.
No.
I don't want that.
No.
So yeah, listen, I'm sick of people creating these new fucking trends, and they think that they're so cool. You know what I mean? And they end up just embarrassing themselves and just looking like idiots. Who is eating that?
Yeah, it's also watching people eat it too. It's they take a bite and it's just falling apart,
Right.
pickle juice dripping down their arm. You look stupid eating it because now it's just a mess everywhere.
So what do they put in these sandwiches?
just like regular filling, like sandwich fillings.
Like ham and stuff and turkey.
Yeah, bacon. Yeah, mayo. I'm like
mayo in a pickle
Yeah.
shell.
Yeah.
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Yeah. So I don't get it.
Yeah, well, listen, anything on TikTok, you know, these people that got these challenges.
Dummy.
It doesn't matter what it is. I'm always gonna.
Dummy.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I go on TikTok to make fun of people. That's what I do. That's what I do. I don't care. I say what I want to say on TikTok, and people don't like it. You know, my videos, the videos that I did with the spiritual whistleblower, they're still going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's wild.
It's just never ending.
Never ending.
It's good. Like the topics, just like always talk about it.
I mean, look, man, when you generate over 30 million views, I mean, what are you gonna do? You know,
superstar.
Yeah, popular guy. People don't like me though. I think next year, not 2024, maybe 2025. I think I want to try to change the narrative. I want to be liked. I want to be appreciated and say, you know, that guy's a nice guy. He has a nice pod. People don't like me. I don't know, man. I don't know why.
People don't like to like people.
Yes.
Always have to find something.
Yeah.
Negative.
I don't think they appreciate my honesty. But if they didn't appreciate my honesty before, they're really not going to appreciate it now. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, Matthew Stafford's wife. She gets the
Dummy, yeah.
Because Kelly Stafford has a podcast. We all know that this was a story last week where she said that she slept with a backup quarterback to motivate her husband. I'm just like, why? Why would you say this? Like, to me, I'm gonna go in a direction where you may agree with me, you may not agree, but we can agree to disagree. When you're a high-profile athlete and you're married to somebody who's not as high-profile as you, I think there needs to be a pecking order situation. Not saying that I'm better than you. Not saying that you don't deserve a voice in whatever decisions need to be made in our marriage or in the household or whatever it is. But in regards to me being a public fucking figure, you need to be on the straight and narrow. You can't say things that's going to be a distraction for what I do. So if a guy like Matthew Stafford has to answer questions in the locker room about what his wife says on her podcast, that's a problem.
Yeah, didn't she get caught last year?
Yeah, said some wild shit.
Yeah.
If opposing players are saying things to you now because your wife is giving them ammunition to do so, that's a fucking problem. If I, as your husband, can't check your ass and tell you to shut up about it, we have a problem. Because do you want to be a star this bad to outshine your husband? For what? What did you think was gonna happen when you say this? Did you think that people were just gonna laugh it off? In this society, people are going to fact check and start digging. What backup quarterback is she talking about? Is she talking about the guy? So let's go ahead and look at all the backup quarterbacks that he's ever played in his career with. You know they're gonna do that. They're gonna now look in college. Well, who backed him up in Georgia?
They're gonna find what they want.
Did you really think that people were gonna trump you? The only person that doesn't get fact checked by people that support are Trump supporters. They don't care what the evidence says. They don't care if he's lying. They're going to support him anyway. Is that what you thought? It's just dumb. It gets better. It's better. This is the part that I'm going to go off on the rails. So, she posts that the quarterback that was alleged to be the guy, Joe Cox, was not the guy she was referring to. But obviously, you know, if you're married to somebody that was a backup quarterback to Matthew Stafford, now you're looking at your husband like, okay, is this something that you should have told me? Mm-hmm. You're creating problems in marriages that you have no fucking business doing. Mm-hmm. All because you want clicks and views and likes. Mm-hmm. But here's the bigger problem that I have. And you always know when I get serious because the eyes start to squint. She apologizes on Instagram to Joe Cox. Where's the public apology to her fucking husband? Mm-hmm. Oh. You can do it behind closed doors. Where's the public apology? If you can be able to do this with Joe Cox and his family and maybe go down the line and some other people who are having some issues right now because of your ass, where's the public apology for Matthew Stafford? That you're sorry that you actually made this a thing. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. This is why I feel like she wants to upstage her husband. You enjoy this. You enjoy being a talking point. But the bigger question is, does he? And when men say that they are not heard and they are scared to have conversations with their women because their women don't take them seriously, and you have certain things like this happen, where maybe you had a conversation and this was something that you and him had a laugh about and you felt the need to make it public. If I'm your husband, I would never tell you anything again. Mm-hmm. Everything would be all surface bullshit. Oh, everything's great, honey. Is there anything that's going on, team? Nothing. You would get nothing out of me. You'd get the Joe Biden look. So Kelly Stafford, you are an attention whore. You need to go home and play the part of supporting your famous husband and making sure that you protect him instead of putting him in harm's way that you've been doing for the past year. So you are an idiot, but you also get the dummy. Yeah. That's all for the show. Decent show. You know. Will I get canceled? No?
50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Do I have a PSA today? I do. My PSA is the theme of the show. Bet on yourself. Never get caught in the weeds too long. Sometimes we get too comfortable in life. Whether it's in our relationships, with our friends, with our intimate partners, with our family members, in our jobs, where we feel like we're in a point where I'm secure, I'm okay. But if you have this nagging feeling that there needs to be more, probably right. And a lot of people are afraid to take risks because they're scared of failure. They're scared to lose. They're scared to fail. Winning means nothing if you don't fail, though. Winning means nothing if you don't lose. How do you know how to appreciate winning if you don't lose? That's like That's like if a team wins the championship for the next 20 years. How can you really appreciate winning when you really haven't struggled to lose? You know what I mean? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you didn't go through those pitfalls of like, man, like we're trying these things and we're working and we're just not cracking through. So bet on yourself. If you're in a situation where you're not getting a raise or you're not happy at your job or whatever it is, leave. Find something else to do. If you're not happy with the career path that you chose for yourself, switch it. If you're not happy with how you look in regards to your physique, do something about it. You want to eat better? Do something. Like, don't just get comfortable. If you're in a relationship and your significant other is having these conversations with you, or the passion is not there, or the emotion is starting to wane and you don't recognize the signs, it's your responsibility to do so. Make changes. Bet on yourself and do things and explore. If you're a young person, it's okay to fail. It's okay to try something and say, hey, I tried it. Because you never know what can happen. If you don't shoot, you can't score. That's all I'm saying. I want people to try to fulfill their dreams and goals, man. If you want to be a podcaster, do that. If you want to dance on poles all night long, then do that. If you want to make a porno, go do that. Do whatever the hell you want to do. But do it because you love it, not because you're comfortable in some monotonous situation that's just secure. Being secure is good, but living a life of fulfillment with your passion is even better. That's my PSA. That's all for the show. I am tired as hell, but it's been a good week. It'll be a better week next week. So until next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.
My son is the champ, so get over it.